Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel, O and the C. Trust me when I tell you that we missed you. It has been a long time since I have sat in this chair on a Monday and said that today is another Victory Monday! And this is not just a normal Victory Monday, this is not just your typical standard run-of-the-mill Victory Monday, it's actually a little bit more special. And the reason being is I actually went to the game. That's right, your boy WilOcho, as the kids like to say, went to the game yesterday in Tampa, BUCS Vikings. And while I have you here, just enjoy this quick montage of the experience that I had in Tampa at the game. So that's the montage, super fun. Feel free to rewind and rewatch and rewind and rewatch. Getting into the video, of course, we are going to start with the list, right? If you guys remember, it's been a while, I know. We start off with the list of the obvious people who really helped the Buccaneers win the game, and the obvious contributions you could see as we go down the list right here. Tom, of course, Gronk, Rojo, Shaq, the list goes on and on. Lot of big plays by a lot of guys in this game. So we really kind of dug deep on the Victory Monday bullet points that we're going to be hitting on today, with some super underrated ones that I think might catch you off guard, but some things, of course, that maybe you didn't notice, maybe you missed. I'm here to fill you in on them. So the first one we're going to start with, pretty under the radar, but I promise you it's worth noting, Ross Cockrell. Now, for those of you who don't even know the name that I just stated, that's okay. Ross Cockrell is actually the Buccaneers' 4th string cornerback. However, with the injury to Jamel Dean, who is the Buccaneers' 3rd string cornerback, Cockrell's been bumped up the depth chart, and he's gotten a whole heck of a lot more playing time over the last few games. And not that he's been great, not that he's been jaw-dropping by any means, but Ross Cockrell has been solid. He's played admirably, he's filled in, done well. I really think that's a credit to him, a credit to the Buccaneers coaching staff that they're able to coach around a guy having to come in. Obviously, Jamel Dean is a very high potential, great athletic player. Tall, fast, can run. He's got a lot of skills. Ross Cockrell coming in off the bench, he's a shorter player, not nearly as explosive as Jamel Dean. However, he's come in the game and he's been able to make plays. And one cool little tidbit, one cool little note as we wrap through Ross Cockrell very, very quickly. One cool little tidbit, the man never wears gloves. He's one of the only people on the field who does not wear receiver gloves of some sort. Pretty much every position nowadays in the National Football League, you get a guy who's wearing gloves, whether they're padded gloves, whether they're lineman gloves, whether they're just light, thin receiver gloves for catching. Regardless, everybody wears gloves. But Ross Cockrell, one of the only DBs I think in the league that I've seen as of late who does not wear gloves. So that's pretty cool. I always like to see a guy going old school out there, trusts his hands, doesn't need gloves, doesn't need that extra grip. That's cool to see. You know, hey, it makes him stand out on the field, if nothing else. So, Jamel Dean, we wish you a speedy recovery. But in the meantime, Ross Cockrell, thank you for your contribution to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We appreciate it. Next on the list, a very similar kind of player, just from the standpoint of a guy that you may not know when I say his name, who I'm talking about, but that's okay because I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna put photos up right over here so you can see exactly who I'm talking about, and it's going to be Patrick O'Connor. Who, what, when, how? Yes, Patrick O'Connor. Defensive lineman, and I'm not gonna specify his position because I noticed in the game yesterday that Patrick O'Connor was lining up all over the defensive line. So something interesting to know, Patrick O'Connor got his first career sack yesterday against Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. Now, the only other play in general that I can remember Patrick O'Connor making outside of preseason is a blocked punt you guys might remember against Denver earlier this season. He was able to get that blocked punt, which really got the Buccaneers rolling in that game. This is the first time that we've really seen him take a good portion of defensive reps. And he actually looked pretty good. So if you go back and you watch it, Patrick O'Connor, of course, he did come away with the 1 sack, which is fantastic, but he was moved around the defensive line a ton. Now, you always see teams when they go into the bye week, right? You self-scout, you self-evaluate, and you see what you've done thus far in the season and what you can do here or there to improve. I would assume the Tampa Bay Buccaneers looked at Patrick O'Connor and said, we got to get this guy on the field. Now, that caught me by surprise. He got a lot more playing time than I expected him to get, but he was all over the defensive line. They put him at outside rush. He was providing good interior rush. He was in a different down and distances. They were mixing and matching him with different matchups against the Vikings offensive linemen, running twists and stunts. So he was really a kind of key factor in some of the Buccaneers pass rush, which was very solid against Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. So Patrick O'Connor, will we see more of him and more of him at this level, more performances like this one going forward? I don't know. It's anyone's guess. However, it's certainly nice to see that Patrick O'Connor deep down the depth chart is able to get in the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and provide a little bit of a spark. We've talked about it many times on this channel. All year long, injuries happen. They're inevitable. You need to have good depth. And Patrick O'Connor showed yesterday, for the first time in his career, he gets an opportunity to play. He may be able to provide that quality depth for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He looks solid out there, so I look forward to seeing how they utilize him moving forward. Was it a one-game thing, or will they continue to let Patrick O'Connor get some reps and get some pass rush in? Because the guy looked fairly solid. We saw him actually bust out the William Goldston sack celebration, which was cool when he did drop Kirk Cousins. So that was definitely exciting. Patrick O'Connor, shout out to you. Welcome to the list. Love to have you on it. Now, as we transition into this next point, the key with this one is it's actually going to transition us beautifully into the next one as well. So we're kind of going to be hitting a 2-for-1 here. This is a big name player. However, his contribution was surprising, and it was also slightly underrated, I guess. We're going to go with LeSean McCoy. And this one really caught me off guard. Now, I was very excited when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed LeSean McCoy. I wasn't unrealistic with it. I know that LeSean McCoy is an aging running back and past the standard running back lifespan, right? LeSean McCoy has lived through that time. He's not in his prime anymore. I understand that. But I was still pretty disappointed when we went through a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't even know how many game span without LeSean McCoy even stepping on the field after pregame warmups were over. I swear LeSean McCoy's jersey has not been washed since like week 3 against the Chargers. But out of the blue, all of a sudden, coming off the bye week, LeSean McCoy gets reps. Leonard Fournette is a healthy scratch, and LeSean McCoy looked good. 2 explosive runs on 3rd and short. The Buccaneers showing good faith in him to give him the ball, give him the rock on a 3rd down, and he converts it, moves the change for the Buccaneers, had a good run inside, and also hit one where he bounced to the outside and got good yardage. Caught me really, honestly, off guard. I did not expect to see LeSean McCoy for the rest of his time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just kind of thought we were going to have to get used to seeing him sit down on the sidelines. And sure, he looks good on the bench, but my gosh, he really looks better on the field. It looks like he's still got a little bit of juice, so it'll be exciting to see, kind of similarly with Patrick O'Connor, how often will he be utilized moving forward? Is this a one-game thing, just based on a specific matchup that they thought maybe it was better to go with the speed and the elusiveness of McCoy versus the power of Fournette? Or is Fournette kind of falling out of favor with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coaching staff? That's something that is going to have to unfold, and we'll watch it play out over the next few games. As the season kind of comes to its conclusion, we're going to have to see how that goes. Hopefully, we could get everybody the ball, everybody will be making plays, and everybody will be happy. But for now, LeSean McCoy, shout out to you. It's the first time LeSean McCoy makes it on the list this year, and it's much deserved. LeSean McCoy was key factor yesterday. He also underratedly caught a screen pass, which he proceeded to draw a penalty on, which gave the Buccaneers an automatic 1st down. And it's actually the 2nd time this year. I don't know if this is a skill set or it's just dumb luck, but it's the 2nd time this year that a 3rd down conversion was given to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of a penalty for unnecessary roughness committed against LeSean McCoy. Earlier in the year, they threw him a screen pass against the Carolina Panthers. He comes up ultimately short of the first down, but a late hit against LeSean McCoy gave the Buccaneers a first down. So that's 2 times this year LeSean McCoy has found a way to convert for the Bucs on a third down via penalty. The final thing we're going to talk about today, and again, staying on point here with LeSean McCoy, Leonard Fournette, that whole running back room. The final credit, and I don't know who to single out here. Could be Byron Leftwich, could be Bruce Arians, could be Tom. I'm not sure. My gut instinct is to lean towards Bruce Arians, giving him the credit on this one, but we'll mention them all to give them all the credit, and it's the game plan. Now, the key difference here for me watching this game, the Buccaneers did not ask Tom Brady to carry them. They didn't ask Tom Brady to do everything. He didn't have to drop back in this game 40, 50 times and throw the ball all over the yard. They asked Tom Brady to make plays when he had to make plays, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers relied on the defense and they relied on the run game. And that's going to be the key going forward. I promise you guys, if you just look back at the stats, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do best. They play their best football when Ronald Jones gets touches. So the key for the Buccaneers going forward, and Bruce Arians even mentioned it, he was quoted during the bye week talking about the fact that he thinks Ronald Jones going forward needs 20 carries a game. Now, he did not get 20 yesterday. He only got 18. LeSean McCoy's few carries and Keyshawn Vaughn's 1 carry, which did not go that well, bring the Buccaneers' totality of rushing over 20, and that is the key. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if they can get over 100 yards rushing and over 20 carries out of their backs, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to roll, get that time of possession up, give Tom Brady a little bit of a break. Don't put so much pressure on him figuratively and also literally, because the offensive line gets a big boost. It's a big help in pass protection when you're running the ball as well as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are running the ball. They kept it third down and manageable, third and short. They did not get themselves in very many third and colossally longs, which we have seen through the season. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have definitely shot themselves in the foot with some major third and longs. Running the football, playing good defense, that is the formula going forward for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if they want to have a big playoff run, that is what it has to be. I know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have all of these weapons on the outside. So many receivers, you can't even count them on one hand. So many tight ends, it's absurd. Trust me, believe me, I know. But the key to winning in the National Football League is controlling the line of scrimmage. And the best way to control the line of scrimmage is to dominate on defense and run the football on offense. That's the key formula for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going forward. And as long as they keep that formula, they're going to be very difficult to beat. The second they get back into the mindset of dropping Tom Brady back 45, 50 times a game and having him throw it all over the yard to all of these receivers, that's when things go awry. It's completely unnecessary to play that way. Ronald Jones, LeSean McCoy, Leonard Fournette, if he gets back in the mix, and of course Keyshawn Vaughn, they need their touches. Run the football, take pressure off of Tom Brady, take pressure off the offensive line, help them out however you can by utilizing your backs. Let them run free, let them run wild on these defenses. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get a big win. Beat the Minnesota Vikings. It was a little scary at first, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the big win at home, coming off the bye week. Tom Brady in his career still has never lost to the Minnesota Vikings, which is a weird statistic, but an awesome one nonetheless. Glad he could keep it going. Of course, I had a great time at the game. Thank you to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for allowing fans in their stadium. That was really awesome to see. I love being able to go. They actually gave out free t-shirts at the game for everyone who came. They were right in your cup holders, right in front of your seats. When you got to your seats, they were just right there for you. So that's really awesome. They say "Go Bucks" on them, which is super cool. Unnecessary, but it's a small thing that's much appreciated by me and I'm sure other fans as well. Thank you to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Thank you to you guys for staying around to the end of the video. And let's go Bucks. I'm gonna need you to say it with me. Yesterday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Vikings. And that means today is another Victory Monday! Let's go Bucks.